Hi, Truth Fairy, ready for Truth Fairy tidbits. If you did not see the introduction to what these videos are going to be, go back and watch that because I'm not going to repeat myself every time. The disclaimer is on there. You might get offended. I'm going to just try to share some of the truth that I've learned and share it directly from the source, because when you share sources, people don't look at them. So maybe you'll listen to it. So anyway, we're going to jump in. Luckily, my puppies are letting me do something. They're taking a nap right now. So I'll repeat this again. I'm going to start the introduction of No Treason, the Constitution of No Authority by Lysander Spooner. Probably have to say who published it, huh? Published by Pantheon Classics, and first published in 1870. It's amazing that there was somebody this smart that long ago. Okay, just going to read the introduction here, see if it sparks any ideas. Here we go. Introductory. The question of treason is distinct from that of slavery, and is the same that it would have been if the free states instead of slave states had seceded. On the part of the North, the war was carried on not to liberate the slaves, but by a government that had always perverted and violated the Constitution to keep slaves in bondage, and was still willing to do so if the slaveholders could thereby be induced to stay in the Union. The principle on which the war was waged by the North was simply this: that men may rightfully be compelled to submit to and support a government that they do not want, and that resistance on their part makes them traitors and criminals. No principle that is possible to be named can be more self-evidently false than this, or more self-evidently fatal to all political freedom. Yet it triumphed in the field and is now assumed to be established. If it really be established, the number of slaves, instead of having been diminished by the war, has been greatly increased. 4. A man thus subjected to a government that he does not want is a slave, and there is no difference in principle, but only in degree, between political and chattel slavery. The former, no less than the latter, denies a man's ownership of himself and the products of his labor, and asserts that other men may own him and dispose of him and his property for their uses and at their pleasure. Previous to the war, there were some grounds for saying that, in theory at least, if not in practice, our government was a free one, that it rested on consent. But nothing of that kind can be said now. If the principle on which the war was carried on by the North is irrevocably established, if that principle be not the principle of the Constitution, the fact should be known. If it be the principle of the Constitution itself should be at once overthrown. Okay, that's just the introduction. So I'm going to read this part again, because this is the part that should make your brain tingle, if you still got functioning bits up there. That a man may rightfully be compelled to submit to and support a government that he does not want. And if you don't support it, that makes you a traitor and a criminal. Okay. The best way to put that into context that maybe will make you think about it is, everybody has the belief that there are sides to the government, right? There's red team and blue team. I'm going to take these off. You got red team and blue team right now. Red team is supposedly in charge, whatever. So I'm going to go ahead and say that you're a red team supporter, okay? So when blue team is in office, does this make sense to you that you should not be compelled to submit to and support that blue team that you did not want? And does it make you feel upset that if you don't support blue team, then you are a traitor and a criminal? Yes, no? We'll pretend it on the other side. I'll pretend you're team blue right now. You gotta be real upset with what's going on with, King Pedo and all the fuckery that he's doing. And I'm willing to bet that you're happy to say that you shouldn't have to consent to whatever this government is doing, and it doesn't make you a traitor and a criminal to not support what Trump is doing. I can't even say Trump. It's King Pedo. We'll get into that later. So anyways, just throwing that out there as a little brain tingler. Hopefully that sparks at least a thought as to the establishment of a government, you know, hundreds of years ago that none of us took part in. I didn't consent to it. You didn't sign a contract. That a handful of, you know, these days, the worst people, human beings on the planet, are the ones that get to decide how you're ruled. And if you don't support them, then you're a traitor and a criminal. Just ponder that for a second, just that little bit alone. This book will get into how all of that was established and why exactly none of it should apply to any of us, and that the Constitution itself, as he says at some point, paraphrasing, it has either allowed the government that we have at this point, or it was powerless to stop it. Therefore, it shouldn't exist. It's pointless, it's meaningless. It's done nothing to stop what we have now. So I'll leave you with that. I'm gonna try to keep these videos as short as I can. You know, under 10 minutes. I might read a little bit more in the next couple. So yeah, I'll leave that there for today. This is episode 1 of Truth Fairy Tidbits, and now I'm gonna go have a glass of wine. So, oh, my new sign off, I think, is gonna be this. Don't forget, do not comply. I'm gonna cut that out. Bye.